I'm ill. That's a bad chick. She fish for compliments. I tune her out. Keep my lips sealed and that's it. You pipe her on the bed. She don't howl a bit. Mad stiff, so baby don't fin the whale like she never had dick.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this.
We're the Maserati Life. We're here with Chilla Jones from Beantown.
Yes, sir.
I want to speak on your battle with JC.
What?
I think that, in my opinion, it's top 5 best battles that have ever been released on the internet.
Word.
It's
Word.
you know, you got punches from everywhere, from you and JC both. It was a very, very solid battle. You know, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, that was during the same time Summer Madness was dropping, correct?
Yeah, that was the same weekend. We was actually the day before, and you know, I don't know if many people know the background of the battle and how everything came to be, but basically, after, I think it was right as I battled Cash, you know, somebody had contacted me about battling JC at a league out in Pontiac. So, you know, we was talking numbers, and that's, you know, that's how me paying him even came into play, you know what I'm saying? Because I really was trying to get in the ring with JC ever since my first PG. I was trying to make that happen. I had a PG in February with Strange.
Right.
That never got released. It wasn't a great battle. Neither one of us had a great performance. But I called out JC. I called out DNA. I called out a couple other people in that battle. You know, and I shot a couple interviews right after saying I wanted to battle JC. So somebody contacted me from Pontiac and was like, yo, if you want to make that happen, you know, I'll get a number for you and we can do it later this summer. So we put the talks in motion, you know, talked to JC, and we was going to make that happen. And basically, you know, about a month and a half prior to the date we had agreed to, something came up for JC where, you know, it couldn't happen right at that time. You know what I mean? So he said he was still wanted to do it, you know, but as my Cash footage dropped and I started to become more relevant on the URL side of things, he said, well, maybe we can make this a URL move and everybody, you know, can benefit. So we contacted Norbs. You know, Norbs was with it. And basically we made it happen. We initially pushed to try and get on the stage for Summer Madness 2. You know, and obviously with the Legends theme, that didn't work out. I think if they didn't have the Legends theme going for this event, we probably could have made it there. But, you know, instead, we were the main event one-off at the PG event. I'm actually glad it happened that way, though. I think that it would have been a totally different battle on stage, you know what I'm saying, on the main stage.
I agree 100%. That almost leads into my next question. How do you feel about, as the popularity of battle rap grows, the crowds grow with it, but, you know, Summer Madness is an excellent example. I think that events like that, and, you know, Arcane and Diz, you know, with crowds that are that big, they kind of take control over the battle, and then the rappers and the bars are lost because the crowd can dictate, you know, basically how the battle's going to go.
Right.
You know, and you get a-verbed as a sense.
Right. Right. I feel like with the crowd, man, it's a fucked up thing, especially in larger crowds, because I feel like of a small group of people in a big crowd can literally control that crowd either by booing or cheering excessively, because people around them are just going to react to what certain other people are doing. You know, and that's the fucked up thing. So when you have 20 or 30 people in a New York crowd dead set on booing Verb, and they start booing at a random part of his round,
people are going to pick up.
Within 5 seconds, that 20 or 30 is 200 to 300. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's one fucked up thing about a big crowd. But on the other hand, you know, if you are a professional at what you do, controlling a big crowd shouldn't be hard. Like, if you look at, let's say Rex first Summer Madness versus Conceited, he actually got booed, like, toward the end of his, I think it was toward the end of his second round or maybe the end of his first round, but he was getting booed, you know what I'm saying? But Rex, he's Rex. He didn't let that bother him, so he kept going, you know what I'm saying? And eventually, he got the crowd back. Even Sirius versus Clips got booed.
Yeah, Sirius did, yeah. Or actually, it was Clips.
Well, yeah, Clips got booed too, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. It's a difference with people like Rex and Sirius and Clips and people who know how to really control a crowd and have experience, I feel like they are the best equipped for the larger crowds. And then when you have people like Verb getting constantly booed, I don't think there's nothing Verb can do about that. So I don't take nothing away from Verb not being able to control that crowd. I think that crowd was against him from the very beginning. But I think people like Rex and people like Sirius who can control that crowd, that just goes to show how great they really are, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Verb should take battles in New York anymore?
Yeah, I do. I do, and I would like to see him on the next Summer Madness, honestly. I mean, he's a big draw, man, and regardless whether people come out to boo or come out to cheer, they're going to come out. What I think can happen is I think URL can record the shit in a way that they can control the volume level of the crowd on the footage. There might not be anything they can do live, but if they have a separate feed for recording the crowd and a separate feed for recording the battle, at least when it translates on camera, you can still hear Verb and the shit he has to say, and the people at home watching on YouTube won't be affected by this large crowd that's booing every 4 lines. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
Even in the footage, you can tell it wasn't as bad as it probably was live. Because I went to the first Summer Madness. I didn't go to the most recent one. But after watching the footage at home, I thought Verb won that battle. You know what I mean? I break down the battles extensively. You know what I mean? I don't know how accurate it is.
Right.
But I spend, you know what I mean? Like, I'll watch, before I put an actual breakdown on my website, I'll watch the battle 5 times. Like, I watched your battle with Chilla Jones, with JC was the hardest battle I ever had to judge. You know what I mean? Just because there was so many punches and you had so many things to weigh back and forth. But breaking that Verb and Rex battle down, I gave the battle to Verb.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think, and I also know that I might be a tad bit biased towards Verb, but I try to leave that at home when I break down the battles. I think Verb is nasty. You know what I mean? Like, I think Verb is easily a top 10 dude. I don't think he's a top 5 dude, but I think he's a top 10 dude. You know what I mean? And just the way that he's treated on those stages in New York, I just think he's better than that. In the large crowds. The main goal of my question is, do you feel that battle rap would benefit from going back to the original crowds, your Murder Mook versus Loaded Luxes in the record stores and in the hat stores and in the hip hop shops on Lenox Ave? You know what I mean? Do you think, where you guys battled, were you and JC battled? You know what I mean? Those are perfect settings.
Right.
Perfect settings.
Right. And I was actually having this discussion. With somebody on Twitter because I think Matt said something to that effect, that basically, the smaller venues, the battles that happen at smaller venues make for better footage and better battles. And he said, that if a league does more frequent events, for example, let's use URL as an example. And this is what I was discussing on Twitter. So I said, if URL did an event every month, like the Revelations event, for example, John K-Shine, Cortez Tay-Rock, me, Magic, Rosenberg, Big K, Jazz, and QB. If you do an event like that, 5 battles, smaller venue, every month, January, February, March, you can still do your Summer Madness in August. You can still do your big December event, on the big stages. But if you just have more frequent battles, January, February, March, and you have 4 or 5 battles on every card, I mean, URL there's enough battlers affiliated with URL to make that happen.
100%.
It'll produce a lot of footage. Pretty sure it'll produce more revenue. I don't see why they don't do it that way. It'll produce better battles. I think it'll increase the integrity of the brand just with how many better battles there are. And that way, when you have to deal with a large crowd, like a Summer Madness crowd, like the Armageddon situation, with that whole event not going down, like, I still really haven't heard anything about any makeup battles or about...
Right, and that card was nasty.
Yeah, and that card was shaping up to be probably better than Summer Madness with just the caliber of the matchups they had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and now I feel like what happened was Summer Madness 2 was such a success that now other leagues and even URL is just focused on the big crowds and the big battles because I think they generate the most revenue.
Right.
And when you have a situation like Armageddon that doesn't go down, you know, ultimately that hurts you more than it helps you. So that's why I just think smaller events in between the larger events at a, you know, at a Black Star where me and JC battled and a lot of the Lions Dens battles were, you know, at Club Drum where the Poison Pen event was, Club Rebel where Revelations was. A lot of those smaller venues that hold between 400, 800, even 1,000 people, I think those are perfect and more events should happen more frequently.
From the outside looking in my opinion, it shows Smack and the whole URL in a negative light because this is what it looks like from my point of view. You have these smaller venues, and you put on these great battles. Your brand gets more popular. You then fill these larger venues,
right?
And then the battles are and the crowd is affecting the outcome of the battles. So it then seems that money is more important than the culture. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it seems like yeah, we care about the culture because if we didn't, we wouldn't be doing this. But we care about the money a little bit more because the more tickets we sell, the more money they put in their pockets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And from the outside looking in, I can definitely see that. That's something that you can look at the situation as a whole and come to that conclusion.
So I'm wrong for thinking that.
I don't think you're wrong for thinking that. Like I said, I think that's what a logical person would think. Again, from the outside looking in, and I don't see myself as on the outside looking in or the inside looking out because I'm a battler. So it's like I don't have anything to do with the business side, so I'm not on the inside looking out. But I'm also not just a fan, so I don't see it on the outside looking in either. You know, I speak to Norbs, I speak to Chico, I even speak to Beasley, and I know what they're trying to do behind the scenes in order to make that up to the battle fans. What the holdup is on everything, I'm not sure. You know, I don't know all the inner details and stuff like that.
Right.
But I know Beasley and I know Chico and I know those guys are working very hard behind the scenes to try to make everything up to the URL fans. So
I noticed you didn't say Smack. Is that for a reason?
Nah, I just don't have a super personal relationship with Smack. We talk from time to time, but really when I speak to URL staff, excuse me, it's usually Chico or Beasley. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
You know, that's nothing against Smack. I don't have any issues with Smack. You know, Smack is my homie. You know, but when it comes to the more of the business side, I usually speak to Chico or Beasley.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm coming from the PGs. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, you know, as a PG guy, I talk to Norb a lot about
I understand that.
Stuff, about, you know, even my interviews on Battle Rap Arena, like I have a great relationship with Norb. Like that is my dude. Like even outside of battle rap and music, Norbs needs something, he got it. Like he's done so much for me and I appreciate it. You know, I just haven't got to a level where I need to reach out to Smack. You know, I have Smack's number. I can call Smack right now if I need to, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
It just doesn't happen that way, that's all, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's nothing personal with Smack and nothing like that, though.
So what's on the plate for Chilla Jones, man? You got first of all, let me backtrack a little bit. What's going on with the Shark Tank? Y'all still doing that?
Shark Tank is still going, man. You know, we took a little break, you know, as this battle rap thing has evolved for me. You know, I kind of had to fall back a little bit from the Shark Tank. I fell back a little bit from the music. Now, in this little hiatus I have going, you know, from the B Magic battle, I'm getting back into the Shark Tank thing. We might have an event in March sponsored by Slain and the Boston Project, which would be crazy. We're definitely going to have an event in May or June. That's when I'm looking to battle next as a warm-up for DNA. So I'm planning on taking probably a one-rounder, maybe 5, 7, 8 minutes. You know, in the process of deciding whether I want to give somebody local a shot just for the exposure that I may be able to bring to them, or whether or not I want to spend a little bit of change to get somebody like Bricks Belby or Danger Zone or, you know, one of the matchups that a lot of people want to see that may not happen on a URL.
What about, can I offer a suggestion?
Sure thing.
What about a lot of Zay?
Ladaze I like. Ladaze I'm actually trying to tap to be on that card. I had a couple other matchups for him in mind. But I like Ladaze a lot, and his last 3 or 4 showings have really impressed me. And I'm gonna be asking, on my Twitter who people would want to see. At the end of the day, like I said, I might end up going local and giving a cat from Connecticut or a cat from Boston a shot. I was thinking about even doing around with Blackheart, which is something that I know some people want to see.
Blackheart's dope.
But I don't want to spend too much to make that happen, and I know he has a price. So we'll see.
What do you feel that DNA is going to bring to you that no other battle rapper has brought to you at this point?
He has. So DNA, I feel like, kind of in that same light as Ladaze, is extremely versatile because he can go bar for bar and punchline you with 4-bar setups. He can attack you personally. I'm sure he can get my name, my social, anything he wants to find on me. I'm sure he can get it. You know what I'm saying? So, the thing about DNA, I feel like he's an incredible writer. I think he knows how to prepare for each battle individually and each opponent individually. He never uses the same exact formula on the same person. I'm sure he has something special planned for his battle with me, whatever that may be. I think he'll probably mix it all as far as bars, as far as, personals, as far as an angle. I'm sure he'll have 3 solid angles. My approach, I'll tell you right now, bars. I'm not going personals. I'm not doing nothing. My intent in this battle is going to be to punch him stupid.
Right.
Every bar is what I'm trying to do.
Like we know you can.
Right, exactly. And that's what I'm trying to do while improving the other aspects of my game, like my delivery, like my performance. That's always a work in progress. But at the same time, I'm also still always trying to elevate the potency of my bars, which I think is very important.
I mean, like, I've been watching Smack DVDs since you could only see him on DVDs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so what battles are coming up that are in the future that you're excited about, that Chilla Jones as a fan is excited about?
Right. Rex and Disaster for sure. That's going to be crazy whenever that happens. Daylight and Big K, to me, has insane potential on a URL stage. So I hope that happens, and I hope that happens on a URL stage because I think that can be dope. Old Red and Young Ill in St. Louis this month is going to be crazy to me. That's on the Verb Cortez, Hitman Math, Old Red, Young Ill.
That's that, was that Juice.com or King Juice? Or?
I think so, out in St. Louis, yeah. Honestly, Old Red and Ill is the battle I'm looking forward to most.
Really?
And I really like Old Red's one of my favorites. Shout out Old Red.
Mine too.
He to me he's extremely underrated.
The most underrated, would you say?
I would, on a personal level, I think M City and Bricks are the most.
Shout out M City. I'm a Michigan cat. We filming for Michigan right now.
Yeah, M City. He's one of my favorites, man. He always has been, and that's why the battle with me and him, I wanted to make happen.
Yeah.
That was my idea. I pitched it to him. He was down for it, and that battle turned out to be a crazy, crazy battle.
That was a bar fest, man. People still talk about that battle.
Yeah, that's an underrated battle, in my opinion.
Well, it depends on who you look at it from. You know what I mean? Right. Who says it? I don't think it's underrated by any means.
I think because the JC battle did so well, it kind of limped into the shadows. And people kind of focus more on that. I think the battle with City has just as many crazy bars or schemes. I even think City is a slightly better wordsmith.
The reason why, I don't mean to interrupt, the reason why I think your battle versus JC was better is because I think you did better in that battle than you did in the M City battle.
Agreed.
My mouth hit the desk when I watched that battle. You know what I mean? Even the second and third time. And that's not even no nut riding shit. That's some real shit. That is me. That battle is the battle. This is my life. You know what I mean? I love this shit. I don't make any money off this shit. I do this shit, you know what I mean, because this is what I do and this is what I enjoy, and I put money into create my website and create my podcast to put a voice out there and let people know that, you know, what you guys are thinking, and then B, what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? To put my voice out there just as well. So this is what I do, and that's the battle. Other than the Pat Stay Marv 1 battle, that's the battle that I've shown to people who aren't necessarily battle fans more than any. You know what I mean? Because if you're not a battle fan and you watch JC versus Chilla Jones and then you still don't like battle, and then it's just not in you. You know what I mean? Like it's just not in you. You know what I mean? So just big ups to that battle. I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but you know what I mean? I think that's why that battle got a little bit more hype, is because it was on a bigger stage, and I think that your fans personally bring that battle up more to you, because I think that you killed it in that battle, and you did, you know, just a cunt hair better than you did in the M City battle.
Right.
Personal opinion.
Nah, and I agree. I think the JC battle definitely was my best performance. To me, that's hands down. Making a classic is always going to be what I try to do, regardless of the paycheck involved, regardless of the league involved. I'm always going to try to pick an opponent who I can bring the best out of and create a great classic battle. I could never take a battle with MC No Show for a hefty check and then just kill him and go about my business.
Word.
You'll never see me jump in the ring with an MC I know I can kill. It won't happen.
Word.
Just from a competitive standpoint, and just from a standpoint of, I love my fans and my supporters. I would never just battle for a check. You'll never see a subpar Chilla Jones performance or battle unless I just didn't bring it.
Right.
But it wouldn't be a situation where I'm gonna battle somebody who doesn't motivate me. If they don't motivate me, I'm not battling them. Period. You know what I'm saying?
And that happens. You see cats go over to leagues, and they just throw throwaway bars out just to catch a paycheck. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna mention no names because this isn't about throwing cats under the bus. But I agree 100% with what you're saying. But I understand 100% what you're saying, and I think the fans appreciate that. I think you can tell by the love that you get on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, because you see other battle rappers, they may have as many fans as you, but they have triple the haters as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see too many people who say negative things to you on your Twitter, and I think it's because you show so much love and support to your fans, is that, 99% of us real ones can respect that, to where we ain't going to, talk shit, because a lot of people like to be tough behind this computer screen. You know what I mean? A few more questions, and I'll let you get out of here. Basically, as a fan, you know what I mean? Like, who are your top 5 battlers that you enjoy watching the most?
That I enjoy watching. So I got to follow that with a question. So are we basing this on? There are battlers I really like who haven't impressed me recently, and then there are battlers who I haven't been a fan of before who have impressed me with recent performances. So I guess my question is do you want my overall top 5? You want my top 5 as of late? Because they would differ a little bit.
Well, I was going to ask you 2 top 5 questions. So let's do overall, because there's another one I'm going to ask you now, and it can go back old school, because Miles is still in my top 5, and I know I'm biased because I'm a Michigan dude, but I think Miles and T-Rex set the tone for classic smack battles. You know what I mean? So I understand a little bit when you can say somebody that hasn't impressed you recently, but they still might have impressed you enough to be in your top 5. Make sense?
Right. Makes sense. Okay. So, top 5 to watch. O-Red is 1. B Magic is 2. Daylight is 3. To watch. Hitman is 4. And we're gonna go JC5.
I respect that. Mine's real similar, you know. And then I got Diz in mind. I'm a huge Diz fan just because I really, really like that aggression. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of cats don't like shock value. You know what I mean? Yeah. But just me being the real dude I am, you know what I mean? I love that shit. You know, I love the whole, you know, I hoped your dad split and fucking smacked your retarded brother and sucked your mother's dick or whatever the fuck Pat Stay said. You know what I mean? That shit was hot to me.
Right.
So, but I like Diz just for the shock value. I think Diz has fixed his style a little bit. I think early Diz had a lot of filler. He would have like 3 hot bars and then fill it with a bunch of freestyle filler. And I think he's getting better at that. I think that's still part of his knock. I also have JC. I have Midwest Miles just because Miles is what that battle with Rex is what made me, you know, fall in love with battle rap. You know, I'll never forget the line he said to Rex where he told him he was going to smack him in the head with the same gun M smacked a dude in the head with.
Yeah.
I got you, and that's on some real shit. I prefer, you know, bars over jokes all day. You know what I mean? Like, and you sprinkle the jokes in there every once in a while, but you go there and you about your business, man, and I appreciate that. That's real talk. And then John, you know what I mean? And that's probably, you know, nothing against John. That's probably a bias pick. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be there, but you know, out of all the cats that I mess with in the battle rap scene, John showed me love, man. And like I said, since John was like my 22nd follower, you know what I mean? Like, that's some real shit, you know what I mean? Because this was when John was in his rematch with Lada Zay. And when he was in Grind Time, you know,
Right.
John first got that buzz, you know, that battle. You know, he's, in my opinion, John still has the illest line in battle rap history. You know, I don't know if you remember it. He said, I'll leave your dog lying bare in a box. Animal
Like
crackers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I heard that, and I went bananas, dude. I'm like, that's the illest shit I ever heard. You know what I mean? So, that's my top 5. I want to know your top 5 on up-and-coming dudes. And you have your own league, so this may even be dudes that, you know, the mainstream hasn't heard of, so you might even get a chance here to plug some of the cats in your local area. May it be Connecticut, you know, Delaware, New Jersey, you know, just up-and-coming dudes that say been in the game about, you know, that about as long, I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't want to say as long as you, because just cats that maybe like the Big K's or, and you know, I mean, JC you already mentioned in your overall, but I think he would fall in that category. I think, you know, cats like, even though Rosenberg's been around for a minute, he might fall in that category. You know, just the younger generation of battlers that are coming up that are trying to get their foot in the door. Who are your top 5 young cats?
Right. Top 5 young cats. There are 3. There's 1 from CT, 2 from CT. 1 is Hazy, who is one of my homies.
I've heard of Hazy.
I like Hazy. I just think he needs to.
Did he just battle Newborn?
He battled Newborn a couple months ago. Yep.
Right. Yep.
He's got some other battles coming up.
Yeah, he killed Newborn.
I thought he beat Newborn. There's some people who think Newborn beat him with the choke. I think bar for bar was close. Bar for bar, Newborn had some shit. I think Hazy outperformed him and had a better delivery.
Me too.
You know, again, it's a preference thing, especially with it only being 1 round.
The only argument, I don't mean to interrupt you, I just want to say this real quick on that battle is, I think Newborn, he started off too slow, then he choked, you know, because the last 50% of his round was ill as fuck.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? But I think you got to give it to the MC who was consistent all through the round. So I gave it to Hazy.
Right. Agreed. Same reason. You know, I gave it to Hazy. But, you know, Hazy, that's my dude, and I see a lot of potential in him, so he's one of them. There's another dude who recently caught my eye out of Connecticut named City Towers.
I'm going to have to check him out.
He is dope. He has a battle dropping with Brix Belvy in the next couple days on iBattle.
Okay.
That I think will be fairly impressive.
Shout out to iBattle.
But yeah, shout out iBattle, Logic, Nasdaq, Ness, everybody over there. City Towers would be another one. I like the homie Nuff Said. He is from Maryland. He's actually Danger Zone's brother.
Wow, okay.
And he is very similar to Danger Zone, but he is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? But he's also dope. I actually was thinking about taking a battle with him just to give him a little bit of exposure somewhere in Maryland at some point down the road.
Word.
So y'all see that happen. But, I have a lot of respect for him as an MC, and he's really dope. Young Philly is an MC from out here in Mass, who is really dope. He has 2 or 3 Shark Tank battles out there. He also has a couple King of the Ring battles. He gets better every trip. He's also a young dude. He just turned, I think, 21. So he's a younger dude, especially out here, who's really dope. And then, I guess I would say, I don't know. I guess I might say Lada Zay. If he qualifies, he hasn't gotten a lot of the respect I think he deserves, and he's battled a lot of big names. Whether before they were big or not. He battled John twice.
Yep.
He's battling Daylight coming up. He battled Sire Boy and I think Sko on URL.
Yep.
He's put in a lot of work and had a lot of battles. So I think he's one of the most underrated as well. Especially repping a battle heavy state like Jersey. You would think that he would have more of a following or more of a buzz. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Shout out to Lada Zay. I think Lada Zay is really dope. So that would probably be my top 5 up and coming cats.
Mine, Big K is number 1 on my top 5 young cat board. I just see a lot of potential in dude, he's definitely a minority in battle rap. You know what I mean? Like just because not too many white dudes got swag in battle rap. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. And Big K's got it. Lada Zay is definitely on there. I know Daylight's been around for a minute, but he's just now finally getting the exposure that I think he's deserved for a long time. Daylight versus Rich Dollars was a great battle. It was a great battle. You know what I mean? So I think Daylight would be my 3rd one. I want to put JC on there, but I already put him on my other one, so I'm going to put Cash instead. Because Cash has just got bars. I think that he just needs to work on. I wish Cash would just slow it down a half a tick. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. I think that he's got bars, but I think he delivers them so fast, and and doesn't relax and work on his delivery. I think he would be spectacular. And then Danger Zone. So you got DNA upcoming, and then you also said you might want to take a warm up battle in the Shark Tank. You got anything else on the plate? Anything else you want to air out?
That's basically all, man. Like I actually have a vlog series I'm doing called Barcode. People are gonna start seeing that soon, probably some dropping toward the beginning of March. But basically, it's like I'm basically gonna be having a lot of battlers breaking down some of their previous rounds, bar for bar, and really giving you all of the gems within it. With a lot of my battles, the reason why I think I have so much replay value is because you can go back and watch it 4 or 5 times and catch something you didn't catch the first time.
Word.
So what I'm about to do with this Barcode series is I'm going to give you my breakdown for Cash Eaton 1 round. I'm going to give you my breakdown for my M City rounds. I'm going to give you my breakdown for my JC and my B Magic rounds. I may even give you the last 45 seconds of the B Magic round. But I also have Daylight breaking down his rounds for Rich. I also have Danger Zone breaking down his rounds for Young Cannon. I have City and Magic breaking down their rounds against me. So, there's going to be a lot of dope shit in there, you know what I'm saying? And I think when people get to go back and watch, M City's breakdown of his bars against me, and then go back and watch the battle, I think you can appreciate the battle so much more. And that's the reason why I kind of waited so long to do it, because I wouldn't want to do it 2 or 3 months after a battle dropped. I wanted to give people 6, 8 months to watch a battle and let it settle in to really try and get all the meanings. And now I can drop this, Cash Eaton round and reveal all the secrets, and drop the City rounds and reveal all the secrets. So, I think that's going to be dope, and that's something that I wanna really get behind and take it forward in the future. So that's something you're going to start seeing, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully URL will support it and post it on their website, and hopefully a lot of other blogs will pick it up and give it a little more exposure. But I think it's going to be crazy dope. I think it's going to be another addition to the battle rap scene that a lot of people will like, especially if you're into punchlines and schemes and if that's what your preference is. So,
I'm excited for sure.
that's gonna be dope, man. So look out for that beginning of March.
Is it frustrating to spit a gem in a round and have it go over the crowd's head? Is that frustrating to you, or is that something
Nah.
to where you kind of take kindly that, like, yeah, that's right?
I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I start to take pride in that. I don't expect the crowd to get a lot of the shit that I say live, and that's why like even with the Cash Eaton battle live, a lot of people said that they felt I lost, and I can get with that. I can dig that because I think Cash was a better performer that night. What I mean? I think live he was a better performer, and that reaches people more than over the head bars would in a one round. You know what I'm saying? On camera, a lot of the same people who said that they felt like I lost live felt like that I won clearly on camera.
Right.
And that's just the difference between being there and then watching it at home.
Would it bother you more if the battle was judged and not promo?
Yeah, I had a battle for so Grind Time before they went belly up. They had a Grind Time New England division, and I actually that's really what I was going to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? I was helping Direct, and Edo G was the GM of the league. And he's one of Boston's most successful musicians on that note. So that was a big look. So I was a part of the first main event for Grind Time New England, which was me versus Sir Loxley, which was a dope battle. I ended up losing that battle via judge's decision, 3-2. But I had a lot of crazy bars that I know people missed in that battle. So I feel like, my style kind of isn't built for judged battles. If I was doing a judged battle, I would have to fall back a little on the schemes and step up a little more on just the straight punchlines. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm glad that these battles are promo, man, because I don't get a lot of my kudos until the footage drops. So that's for me that's how it has to be.
I think it's smart to do the promos for the simple fact that it gives the fans something to talk about after the battle drops. You know what I mean? Because they're initially going to have that buzz directly after the battle drops, but it gives you a debate topic, because then if 5 judges say you won and I think you lost, I really don't have an argument because in all actuality, at the end of the day, you still got that win under your belt. But if there's no judges there, and fan A says, oh, I think Chilla got him, and fan B is like, oh, I think Cash got him. You know what I mean? Like, we can offer our points, and it gives us a conversation topic. You know what I mean? So I think the promo is better for the fans.
Right, and even on top of that, man, I think, like, example, take the Disaster Arcane situation. So obviously, because it was a battle for the chain, it has to be judged. But the fact that it was judged for Arcane has almost overshadowed the fact that Arcane may have had a dope performance, or that Diz may have had a dope performance. But instead, all we're really talking about was the controversy of him buying bars, and, for a lot of Diz fans who weren't happy with the battle and the things that happened, now we're talking about the outcome that Disaster was judged and voted as the winner.
Right.
So now, instead of people just looking at a battle, like, for example, take even Disaster and DNA, a great unjudged battle that just went back and forth with freestyle, with bars, with personals, with schemes, with rebuttals, and everything tied in. Now imagine if that battle were judged and DNA won. A lot of Disaster fans would hate that and would talk about that more than the greatness of the battle.
Right.
Even the flip side, if it were judged as a Disaster win and people felt like DNA won, I just feel like having to judge a battle takes away from the actual battle, and it puts more focus on other things that I feel like shouldn't matter as much. I think we should be able to watch a battle and just appreciate it for the performances. And I don't even think that judging it for a winner or a loser is how we should even be doing things or how we should even be promoting things. I think it should just be a status of who did you prefer more in this battle.
Right. Well, now I got to
Period.
put you on the spot because that's one of my favorite battles. Who do you think won that battle?
Diz and DNA,
Yeah.
DNA.
Really?
But yeah, but I'll tell you why. So on the first two watches, I thought Diz had it. I've actually watched that battle 4 or 5 times.
Me as well.
I think it's one of the greatest battles of our era.
I agree.
For sure, top 5. The reason why I gave it to DNA is I felt like DNA was just a better, more creative writer. Like DNA's first round, the whole thing about you have a problem with time, I thought was genius. Diz's second round rebuttal of that with the Prince of Persia shit, I thought was crazy. One of the best rebuttals ever to me. The third round, I wasn't big on from either of them.
No, you had the crowd interaction there too.
Right. I think the crowd interaction during Diz's round, and he kind of got a little sloppy toward the end. And then I think DNA, with the something, he was rambling a lot
right.
in his freestyling, and I think he was just trying to rap for as long as Disaster did to make the battle
right.
float. Exactly. So the third round I wasn't huge on, but if I might watch it again and think Diz won. Like to me, it's one of those type of battles. It's like me and JC. It's like Lux and Mook. It's like a lot of just classic back and forth exchanges.
Right.
That you can really go either way.
I thought Diz won the battle. I just think that I think Diz's performance. I agree. I gave the third round to DNA. I gave the first 2 rounds to Diz. Diz's bars in that battle, I think, were the most structured that he has ever spit in his career. You know what I mean? And did you know, off topic, but still on the same topic, did you know the stuff about DNA's mom isn't even true?
I didn't think it was, honestly, but that's how battle rap is. I don't necessarily. The fact that it's not true for me doesn't
I can
make
confirm 100% it's not true.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think it was, but the fact that it's not true for me doesn't necessarily take away from the dopeness of it. Like even the Rosenberg Raw Big K situation with Rosenberg talking about Big K and his brother's funeral, even though it wasn't really his brother, it wasn't a biological blood brother. You know what I mean? A lot of people took away from Rosenberg saying, well, that wasn't Big K's brother, so even though that line was dope, it didn't apply. I don't really look at shit that way.
Me neither.
You know what I'm saying? The way I look at it is when Big K was doing the intro to the 7:30 battle, he said, I'm missing my brother's funeral. Now, he probably meant one of his close homies,
Word.
Which is cool. I think even what Rosenberg said at that point still applies to me.
I agree 100%.
And so I don't. Go ahead.
It was tough for me to be such a big K fan and hear that round because I was like, damn, he's got such a good point.
Right. Right.
But back to the Diz battle, I thought his structure in that battle was the best it's ever been. And like I said, I like the shock value. At that point, I didn't know that stuff was true until I later interviewed DNA. I interviewed DNA 2 months ago. You know what I mean? And it's on my website for the fans who are going to watch this. Go check out the DNA battle, or excuse me, interview. And we spoke about it, and it wasn't true. It didn't take anything away from it for me, but watching it there and not knowing it wasn't true, I like that shock value. So, and he played the scheme well. He did the comparing the living room to a highway and getting off at the nearest couch exit. You know what I mean? Like that shit was funny to me, and I just like his aggression. DNA, I like that you have a problem with time thing, but at the same time, I felt like it was whiny almost. You know what I mean? Like, I think that I know that there's time limits for a reason. I get that. You know what I mean? But I think that I hate when, like, say if our time limits are 3 minutes and I'm at 3:20 and then, you know what I mean? And then the next person starts chiming in because I'm like Murder Mook versus Serious Jones.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where Serious Jones grabbed the camera and is like, da time. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, I understand there's time limits, but I don't think there's any point you should ever intervene in your opponent's round, ever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So,
I agree.
you know, when him whining about the time limits, I don't mean to say whining. I apologize. When him talking about the time limits, to me, it seemed whiny. So that was the deciding round for me, that very first round. You know what I mean? Which I slightly gave it to Diz. No disrespect to DNA. DNA is a monster, and I think that battle is right up there with Miles, T-Rex, yours, and JC as, you know, the best battles I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? So.
Right, and I really like Diz's first round closer too, with the you know, talking about his gap when he still had his gap, and the distance between bars and delivery. His first round closer was extremely tough, and then how he opened the second was really good. You know,
and I like the way he's, you know, Organic's got the phone. And he's like, don't tell me that because this is about to be the body bag of the century. You know what I mean? Like, so.
That's how, yeah. This is a monster, man.
He's a beast how he can work the freestyles in with his written so fluently. You know what I mean? Like, and DNA's really good at that as well.
Right.
All right, man. Well, we're going to let you get out of here. It's the Maserati Life. I'm here with Chilla Jones from Boston.
You know, holla at me. You know, you can get at me on Twitter. I try to respond to everybody I can, at Chilla Jones. You know what I mean? You know, check out my league, man. You know, like I said, we're going to get back up and running soon, and I will be back in the Shark Tank, you know, in the next few months. So youtube.com/inside the Shark Tank. If you want to check out some of our talent pool, no pun intended.
What about somebody who wants to battle on the Shark Tank? How would they go about that?
If you want to battle on Shark Tank, you know, email your footage to sharktankbattlegrounds@gmail.com. You know, if you don't have footage, you know, we do tryout events every few months, you know, so we'll have you come out, we'll set you up, and we'll make it happen. But, you know, like I said, we might be doing an event in March sponsored by the big homie Slane. Shout out Slane, you know, who was also in that movie The Town and just was in that movie Killing Them Softly, I think, with Brad Pitt and Ray Liotta, some other people. We're definitely going to be doing an event in the May-June time, you know, trying to get M-City, Cash Eat, and a lot of Midwest cats out here for that one, you know, so kind of discussing business with them right now. And like I said, I'll be back in the ring. I'm trying to figure out who my opponent's going to be, and that's going to be a nice little for DNA. But yeah, so, you know, I think that's about it for me. You know, shout out, you know, Maserati Life, you know. We'll do this again real soon.
I appreciate you, son. You know what I mean? So, you know, big shout out to Boston. Shout out to Chilla Jones. And then if you haven't seen the battle with JC, excuse me, you should battle Jay-Z, though. If you haven't seen the battle with JC, check it out, man. It's an iconic battle. This man does his thing, man. It's complete bar fest. B Magic just as well, you know, Cash Eaton. I think you're top tier, man. I really appreciate you coming on. This is the inaugural interview. It'll be released on the second episode of the podcast.
Word.
So I appreciate you coming on, man, and much respect, dude. Like I hope that you never shy away from battling. You know what I mean? Even if you find a successful music career or success somewhere else, I pray that as long as you're able to get the wheels going in that mind, that you'll never stop, man. Because you know, fans like me. I really appreciate that shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's times I get out of work 12-hour shift, and then I see on YouTube that a new battle dropped. You know, I stay up for that extra 30 minutes or extra 45 minutes because I just have to see that battle, you know. So there's fans out there who really love that shit, man, and they really love your craft. So please don't ever stop.
Word. Appreciate it, homie. We'll do.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, bro.
As a B-Town representative, gotta handle B.I. Rubber band man, hustle for the grants like T.I. Other rappers is envious of me, I can see why. Cause I'ma be on top of the city until I D.I.E. And we ride on these guys, rocking bright-ass felines, tight-ass Levi's. Imagine me catching the L, this ain't Mario Kart. So imagine me catching a shell.
DJ Sleeper.